Yeah, we can start.
So I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. My name is Jeremy Bergen. I'm a sergeant with the Cary Police Department, but you don't need to worry about that. My name is JB. Everybody calls me JB, so don't worry about my real name. I want to thank our organizer tonight for putting this together. Let's do some community stuff first. So everybody from Weldon Ridge,
Yes.
and then there's Enclave.
Yeah, few of
Yes.
us from Enclave.
Is everybody from Enclave?
No.
Okay, so who all do we have here? We got, raise your hand if you're Enclave. Okay, does everybody know everybody?
Yes.
Very good. All right. Who else do we have represented? Just Weldon Ridge as a general, right?
We have our
I'm sorry?
Senator Douglas.
All right, so anybody in that community? All right, does everybody know everybody? All right, good. Who else? Anybody else that I'm missing? Grove? Anybody from Grove? Nope, we got a couple over here. Very good. Grove, all right. Still got people coming in. Very good.
I think Estates is
And
on
there's a
board.
space.
Estates, do we have estates here? Very good, very good. Very good.
From Park.
Okay, we got Park, all right. Y'all just shared all this information, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, very good. But the reason why I bring that up is a lot of what we talk about tonight revolves around our ability as a community to communicate. And so if you don't know who your neighbors are, you're not going to communicate. So that's one of the benefits of being here. You told me this was going to be a small meeting. I think I've been bamboozled here. It's okay. So what I always start with, I'm community services. So outreach is what I do. And part of that outreach is dealing with HOAs and community watch and crime trains. So just for recognition, you have the patrol officers who are in patrol cars. They come out to your house if something happens, or they do general routine patrol. Okay, that's not me. And then you have, I ran out of cards, very good. And then you have investigations. And so those are the folks that after patrol responds to an event, investigations are the ones that take the case, look into it, and try and make cases. That is also not me. I am part of crime prevention. I'm the third part of our triangle. My job is to try and keep you from being a victim to begin with. And so the things that we talk about tonight have very little to do with the patrol aspect or the investigative aspect, and more to do with what each one of us individually can do to make ourselves safer. Because I think in the grand scheme of things, that's more important. Because if you take responsibility for your house and make it harder for that person to break in, then you're less likely to be a victim. Hence, my job is successful. So, but regardless of whatever we do, now some of you who came in late don't have a map. So make sure you can see a map from one of your neighbors. This map is a crime trend map. Okay, I'll hold this today. And it lists all of the police reports that have been entered into the system. Are any of you signed up for WRAL spot crime? Okay. The News and Observer has one too. Okay. If you use those services, and what happens is if you sign in to WRAL or News and Observer, it will send you an email if there's something that happens in your neighborhood. Okay, automatically. The downside to those services are we don't know where they get their data from. They pull it from us, but they also pull it from other places. So you might have something happen at your house on that map, and it never really happened. So be careful with that. However, this map, the website for this map is on the top right corner of that page. It's maps.townofcary.org. If you go to that site right now, you can type in your street, and you can pull up a map that looks just like this. Okay? And it will show you what's happening in your community. The reason why I start with this is because this eliminates sort of what I call the kindergarten whisper game, where he tells me they had one vandalism, and by the time it gets around the community, it's 4 homicides. Okay? So we try to minimize some of that by using the map. Okay? So if it's on this map from our site, it's an actual crime report. Okay? So obviously what you see there, that half circle, the parameters for this search are in the bottom right of that picture. So I used Up Rock Drive. That encompasses most of the communities here, right?
No, just that Enclave street.
Right, but within that half mile around that.
Yes.
Does that encompass everybody else for the most part?
Most of them.
Okay. I tried to do that intentionally so I would catch most of the folks that are here tonight. So within that half circle, All of those dots are burglaries. So that's a break-in. A burglary was someone enters your house, whether forcibly or unforcibly, to take things. So that's a burglary. Okay? Doesn't matter what time of day, doesn't matter what they're looking for, that's a burglary. Okay? The diamonds are larcenies, which means someone stole something from someone else without going into their house. Okay? Come on in, we got plenty of room. So what you see is, you see one circle. Now that one circle represents 2 burglaries. I think that's what recently happened. And then those diamonds are larcenies. Okay? So I pulled all of those reports, and I want to talk about each one of them. The 2, you're in Cary. You're in the safest city in the southeast. Okay? One of the safest cities in the country. Might be one of the reasons why you moved here. Okay? It's highly unlikely that you'll be a victim of a crime. Highly unlikely. If you are going to be a victim of a crime, it will probably be a burglary or a larceny from your car. Those are the 2 things. So that's why when I pull that map, those are the 2 things I look for. Okay? So for the burglaries that have occurred, now this data on the map goes back a year. I actually pulled the data for all of this year and all of last year. And so for all of Weldon Ridge, which includes Enclave, there were 3 total burglaries. Okay? One of those was an entry through a bathroom window, and they didn't take anything. Okay? It was actually an alarm response from us, which means the alarm went off and we were on the way to an alarm and we found the burglary. Okay? The second burglary was a broken window, and it was also an alarm response. Okay? So you're beginning to see a trend. Folks using their alarm. That's very, very good. Okay? And then the third one was a rear door kicking in. There wasn't an alarm in that situation. Nothing was missing from the second burglary, by the way. And there was nothing taken from the third burglary either. Okay? Again, that one was one where they kicked in the rear door. I can tell you this. Historically in Cary, kicking in the back door is how people get into houses. Okay? Now of the 3 that you had 2 window entries. So that would be atypical. But you did have a rear door kick in, and that's very typical. The reason why it's typical is because of the design of the house. If you go home tonight, the screws in the door are probably really, really short. It's really easy to kick in a door that way. The reason why I give everybody my card is we have a service in town where I come out to your house free of charge. Well, you're taxpayers, so the tax dollars go to this. But you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. You have me come out to your house, and I will evaluate the structural security of your house. And we will talk about that door jamb. We will talk about your windows. We will talk about your alarm. We will talk about landscaping. We will also talk about what to do if someone breaks in when you're home, sort of the mental side of security. That's all free of charge. So if you have any questions about that, you can send me an email, and that's why I wanted to make sure everybody had my information. Okay? So make sure before you leave tonight, I've got enough cards. I don't have enough maps, I'm sorry. Again, I was bamboozled. But I do have enough cards for everybody, so make sure you take one. You did have one larceny in that year and a half range, one larceny from a vehicle, and that vehicle was unlocked. That is very typical. A lot of times, the way you're victimized is someone goes into your car because it's unlocked, and they take what's in there. So they'll take change, they'll take chargers for your phone, they'll take those sorts of things, and of course they'll take cell phones and tablets and wallets and purses and those sorts of things. So for all of your community, you had 4 of the events that we talked about in about a year and a half. And that's exactly what we expect to see in a safe neighborhood. Now, if you're one of those 4, you don't feel very safe based on those crime trends. And we appreciate that. That's why I want to reach out tonight to make sure everybody has the services that you need. But from the grand scheme of things, this is exactly what the community should look like in Cary. Okay? Of 2015 and 2016, for those communities, you had 27 events total. That means 27 reports. 11 came from the same house. Okay? Some of you who live near that address probably know that address. The last event for that particular address was December 15th, and from reading the reports, that family may have moved somewhere else. So I don't expect that issue to continue. None